This is Carlos Solarzano, and I'm honored to be taking part in the 10 questions for Tucson musicians. Like a lot of drummers, as a kid I was beating on things. In my case, it was mostly toys. I wasn't really, my mom's pots and pans kind of guy. My mom tells me when I was a baby I used to turn over my Tinker Toy canister and grab the 2 purple sticks and beat on it, but I don't remember that. As far as when I started formally playing, when I was in the 3rd grade, my elementary school, which was called Dolores Street School in Carson, California. I'm actually originally from LA. They had a drum corps that was part of what they called the drill team. And we learned a bunch of cadences, and we were working with the girls that were both part of the drill team and majorettes. Later that year, my heart was always set on playing drum set, so I had asked my parents for a drum set, and my father agreed to it on the condition if I took drum lessons, which I did. And I went ahead and started studying for 13 years privately. Well, my main gig is I'm a drummer. I've been playing drums most of my life, and that's what I've pretty much done professionally. I also play guitar. I play mostly acoustic guitar. I do a lot of that at church, and then I write songs with people. And it just feels more natural for me to play acoustic guitar. I play around a little bit on electric guitar, but I'm not very good on electric guitar. I also play bass guitar. I'm kind of more of a meat and potatoes kind of player. I do it mostly when I'm working on home demos or if I'm jamming with my son. And I play keyboards, again, mostly for home demos. And I guess I might as well confess, for those who see me perform in the local scene, I've been known to sing a song here and there, but my singing is mostly relegated to background vocals. Unfortunately, there's been several that were pretty bad. I would say the ones that stand out the most to me are the ones where I'm either playing with musicians that I don't click with, or the worst of all would be when you get called to sit in for a gig, which is not always the most comfortable thing, especially when you don't know all the songs. And then the band leader decides, hey, let's do something real complicated with lots of changes and stops, and no one is there to nod you through it. That's really irritating. I've been blessed to work with some amazing musicians who are also amazing people, and in most cases, many of them are still lifelong friends of mine. Some of them I have not seen since I moved to Arizona, which was in the summer of 2006, but I'm still in touch with them and they're still dear friends to me. I would say if I had to choose, it would be one of 2 things. It would be either when I was playing at church or some faith-based event, because I am a man of faith and I like to use the gifts that God gave me to praise Him. And also, as an artist, even though I'm a drummer, I've done a lot of solo drumming shows as well as master classes where instead of just playing the drums, I perform where I take a lot of world rhythms and adapt them to the drum set and sort of create my own solo act. So on a personal level, it's really fulfilling to be able to have the opportunities to go out there and share that with everyone, because it's not something that people ask for a lot of times, so when it does happen, it's actually really cool. My answer is not going to be some good-looking person that I want to play with because I want to be on stage with them. No. Mine would be the fact that there's, even though I'm old enough where I'm way past the whole want to be a rock star bit, there's 2 musicians who are still living that I would love to, if I could pack my stuff and go on tour with them, it would be Richie Sambora, formerly of Bon Jovi, because I love his solo work and I think his solo material is so exciting and I'd love to play drums for him. If Paul Stanley of Kiss ever went on a solo tour again, I want to play drums for him. And there was one other musician, but unfortunately he's passed away. I always admired Jack Bruce from Cream. I thought he was really the one that carried that group, and I just loved everything about him as a musician. I would love to mainly collaborate with him. That's a tough one because that's when my OCD-ness comes out. It's not just drummers, it's also going to be songwriters and composers. What I'm going to do is kind of generalize a little bit of my favorite type of musician, if you will, or influence would be drummers who also write songs. So you have drummers that they play the drums and they play with bands, and rhythmically they understand the song, but they don't really know what's going on in the song. Whereas a drummer who plays other instruments, like say if you have a Phil Collins to a Billy Cobham, they're not only phenomenal drummers, but they're also great songwriters. And when you listen to their drumming, it's not just great drumming. They have a very unique style to their drumming, and I will go to my grave fighting for the belief that that happens because they understand melody, they understand harmony. They don't just hear it and hum it, they write it, they understand it, they know scales, they know modes, they know chords, they know music theory. They know what they're doing musically. In other words, they could do things musically without drumming. If you think for 1 second that doesn't translate in your drumming, you're wrong. That's why I always tell young drummers, learn to play another instrument, even if it's just something you do at home. And I'm not talking about congas and timbales, I'm talking about learn piano, learn guitar, at least understand what's going on. It will change your drumming forever. The hottest band in the world, Kiss! I don't care what anybody says, fight me. They've been my favorite band all my life, and they always will be my favorite band. I don't care what anyone thinks of them. Kiss is the hottest band in the world. And even Geddy Lee of Rush once said, I don't care what you think of their music or their show or whatever, no one works harder on stage than Kiss. No truer words are ever said by another musician about another performer. Okay. I'm not a big fan of hip-hop, but I can handle the K-pop songs that my daughter plays for me because they're actually not too bad. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one actually, but I'm one of like 2 people on the planet that honestly has heard the Beatles and just says, I don't get it. I'm not gonna say that I hate them. I'm not gonna say that their music's not good. I just don't get it. I don't see what the big deal is. Shoot me, fight me, I don't care. Come to one of my gigs and argue with me, go ahead. My own band members argue with me, and I just tell all of them, you're wrong, I don't get it. And I'm sorry, I don't get it, I don't like it. And it's not because of Yoko. Even the stuff before Yoko, I don't like it. I would say drumming with purpose. When I'm composing my own music, every note matters, and I want the drums to say something. That's why I like doing the world rhythm thing, because when I'm playing ostinatos with my feet, you don't just solo and start ripping all over the toms and the snare. What you play has to say something. It has to have some kind of melodic phrasing. I learned a lot of that from growing up with my dad's record collection. He was really into Tito Puente, and that guy on the timbales, he spoke. Again, another percussionist who played other instruments. I would also say when I'm playing with a band, I understand my role in the group. You know, when it's a solo coming up, like say in a jazz combo, that's cool. When I'm playing in a country band, which is most of my work, I understand that my role is to keep the groove going, keep everything on stage solid, keep the dance floor full. Keep the dancers happy, the band keeps working. And I want people to recognize that I'm there to support them or entertain them, therefore drumming with purpose. This is probably the hardest question to answer, so I'm gonna do the best I can. First album, Time's Up by Living Colour. I think that first of all, that's my favorite rock album ever. And I think it's definitely top 3 rock records of all time. I don't care about the Beatles, I don't care about Led Zeppelin, I don't care about Queen, I don't care about the Eagles. Fight me on that one too. That record is diverse, it is high energy, it's incredible. Second, Santana's Sacred Fire, because I grew up with a lot of Chicano rock, and I love those classic songs, but that album's a live album, and him and his band play those songs, I think, the way they always were meant to be played. They sound incredible on that show, and I can never get enough of it. Richie Sambora's Stranger in This Town. I mean, you talk about an album where a key member of a band, a supergroup in this case, Bon Jovi, goes off on his own and does his own thing. You just hear this beautiful honesty and emotion in his playing and in his singing. I can never get tired of that record. Tony Williams' Tokyo Live. Just amazing compositions. The drumming is phenomenal. I mean, for those who like jazz, fusion, big band drumming, whatever, that record you can put up against any classic album of any amazing drummer and it stands right there. It's a masterpiece. And the last one, for so many different reasons, I would say the soundtrack to the movie Somewhere in Time. I think John Barry was literally touched by God when he wrote that music. It is some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard in my life. This question, I have to be a little direct. I would say to that person, get over yourself. If you're lucky enough to be in a band like U2 and you write songs and the world loves them and you can tour the world and do whatever you want, God bless you. Because you are luckier than most people will ever be in the artistic world. If you want to be a professional musician, a working musician, you have to play music people want to hear. People want to pay to come in and see and or pay money to buy drinks and keep your band working. And if you want to play something people don't want to hear and they don't show up, you can't complain. The world is always changing, the music scene's always changing, and you have to go with it. Second, same thing in the studio. You are hired to play on someone's song. They are hiring you to deliver what they want. If they are open to suggestions, that's great. If they don't like your suggestion, once again, get over yourself. I don't have one. It's just usually when I'm listening to music in the shower, it's probably after I've gone for a bike ride, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I'm also really dirty. So since I've been flying up and down the road, I want to put on something kind of loud and energetic. Same thing I like to listen to on a Friday after work because you're happy if you're off of work, so I definitely am ready to kind of rock out a little bit. So anyway, those are the answers to my questions. Thanks again, Mike, for having me, and I hope you guys at least like some of my answers. See ya.